All right, hello everybody. N5BSB. Gonna bring a video today of an event we did yesterday together with the Waller County Texas Amateur Radio Club. This was kind of what we call wineries on the air. This is done at a winery, local winery in Oakhurst, Texas. So we had a little mishap, and it was quite comical, and I just almost could not do a video on it. So please make sure you stick around to the end of the video. You might learn something, you might get a chuckle. So stick around. So first, let me give you a little bit of backdrop of what was going on here. And first, let me say I'm not a YouTuber, so I don't have multiple cameras and all this fancy equipment to share screens and all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing the best I can here in front of my computer screen, because I have to narrate this because we only have short video clips. We didn't actually catch the big episode on video, so unfortunately. All right, so the backdrop of this is one of the ham operators. His name is Mark, KB7OUZ. He brought out a kite and I think it was about an 80-meter in-fed half-wave antenna. It was about 132 feet long. So in this first little video clip here, you're going to see us attempting to get this kite up in the air. We also had Steve, WB5HZM, had brought out a table and had a Xeigu, I believe it's a 6100, set up on the table, and was going to, try to make some contacts with that. So this is going to be us making the first attempt at trying to get this kite off the ground. So I'm gonna let it play out here. You can see the orchards over to your right side of Mark there, and so I'm gonna let this video play, and you can kind of see where we were struggling with all the different wind directions.
Okay. That other part will come up by itself. Okay. We just need a good gust of wind. We have to get a more constant gust.
Probably gonna need to face that away. Well, I see the flags now are blowing this way. That's gonna be the Now, keep in mind, we probably should have thought a little more carefully about being so close to the vineyard there, but I don't think that was in our first frame of thought. But you see how close we are actually, to the vineyard. right, so that was the failed attempt. You know, the first first go round. That was our failed attempt, and Mark, he also had brought a secondary kite, and it was a much bigger kite. So they went down and swapped out the kites, and they were successful at getting this kite up in the air. I've never operated with kites before. I don't know a lot about them. I guess there's different weight, the pull, the weight that a kite can pull. But this bigger kite was quite the kite. I mean, it was, I think he told me it was rated up to 500 pounds of pull. And Mark had a harness on that went around his head and his neck and under his arm, and he had about a 2-foot reel, you know, that he was using, you know, to hold this this kite. And I'll point it out here in a minute in the video, but you can see the coax and the you might have saw it on earlier, the 49-to-1 ballon. You can see it hanging there. You can see the coax and everything, and it's just kind of dangling there around on the ground. So let's take a look at this video, and then I'll stop it and I'll point out a couple of things as we go along. So as you can see, the kite's up pretty high. There's the ballon right here, and this is the coax.
It's like here, it's going in several different directions. Made it hard to even get it up in the air. And usually,
Now, I'm going to stop it right here just for a second. You see Steve's Xeigu right here, and his microphone, and this is the vineyard back here, and you can see the kite was kind of right up in this area. So just kind of for frame of reference, wanted you to see that. You can see the coax back there. And so Steve was just getting ready to operate, and he had just brought out another antenna here, one of our real potable antennas, and we were also going to deploy that one as well. However, this is where the somewhat exciting part came in, I guess you could say. Not so exciting for Steve. But Steve's, and like I said, we didn't catch this on tape, but I'm just kind of narrating it to give you a sense of what happened. So Steve sat down here in the chair, was facing his radio, and he had the mic in his hand, and he was just fixing to key up and make a contact. Okay, and when that happened, the kite string broke, and this was a 300-pound test line that was on there, and I think Mark said something about he forgot to change it out to the heavier 500-pound line, and when we switched the kites. But anyway, needless to say, Steve is sitting there at his radio with the microphone in his hand and ready to key the mic, and the string broke, and the radio gets jerked right out of his hand. The microphone gets jerked right out of his hand. And bye-bye goes the radio and the kite. So immediately Mark started hollering, you know, go get it, go get it. Steve's sitting there in a little bit of a daze, because one minute he's holding the microphone, next thing his radio's gone. So they're looking over there, and his radio is bouncing through the vineyard several times. I think finally the radio got up against one of the fences or fence posts, and it pulled the coax out of the connector here, and he was able to retrieve his radio. The kite, on the other hand, not so much. The kite just kept going. It did get tangled up in a tree about a half a mile away. We were still able to see it, but once it got loose from there, it kept going, and we never saw it again. And that was a fairly expensive kite. So I'll finish playing this video. There's not much left of it, but you can see that we were hearing, and and you can see the kite up here, and that was the end of the video. That's all we have. We didn't actually have it. We weren't able to capture the actual event, but it was quite hilarious, to say the least. And, you might learn something from this experience. I know I did, as a person not being familiar with kites. I think in the future I would probably have a safety. This thing, when this gust of wind come along, and it literally jerked Mark out of the chair he was sitting in. And he's a pretty good sized guy, so we know that the pull exceeded 300 pounds because that's what the weight of the line was, but it broke it, and it just took off, jerked the radio. Steve was able to retrieve the radio, and it was of course it had a lot of dirt and stuff on it, and I think it had a slightly bent antenna jack, and maybe one of the knobs was slightly bent, but it was able to power on. The display wasn't broke, so the radio might have been saved, but with a small amount of damage to it. Luckily, it did catch on something, so he was able to, because otherwise his radio would have been gone along with the kite. My other thought on this issue is maybe having a safety cable for not only the kite but the radio, maybe tied off to a vehicle or something. That way, if something like this did happen, you would have another safety there. Of course, it would have broke the coax, but at least your radio wouldn't have go flying across the vineyard. And this is by no way, this video is not putting anybody down for anything that happened. We just had a great time. We ended up doing more of the wine tasting than concentrating on the radios after that point. But it's a great place to go hang out. And I just wanted to share this. We all got a chuckle out of it. If you could have saw the look on Steve's face when he's holding the microphone 1 minute, the next minute it was gone, it was priceless. So that's all I have, and just thank you very much for watching, and thank you to the Waller County Amateur Radio Club for inviting me and the wife out. We had a great time, and we look forward to getting together to do it again. 73 to everybody. We'll catch you later.